My tooth is swollen. My hair is messed up. I got a lot going on. Y'all should like really like watch this channel to give me views. My son is screaming in the background. It's a lot going on in my house. Do y'all want me to see it or not? No? Okay. Well, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the damn channel. Elijah, could you close the door? Because I know you hit me on trying to make a video. It's not the way. Not the move. Not the move, my child. Not the move. Today is fucking Wednesday. I'm so motherfucking off on days. Where the fuck am I supposed to be at? Pause. You remind me of my sister, the one that never was able to be saved. You remind me of my sister, falling on a cliff, I can't be saved. Sniffle. We looking at a little cute dog. Come on, look, assistant you. Don't cry. Sniffle, Patasha Chun. I'm already so grateful for the early graduation, Sniff. And now a graduate school scholarship. Thank you, sir. I was worried that I would have to do twice as much work as an assistant. Pink. There were a lot less people who applied for graduate school this year. I'm sorry, y'all, if my hair cut off. Can't you just tell me that you're giving it to me because I'm a great student? Of course, we need more talented students like you. Hee. She's becoming more and more like Professor Beak. Professor Beak isn't even interested in students like me. Even though I asked him several times to talk about graduate school. Professor Beak doesn't have any students, so I'm having this graduate school meeting for him. The psychology department actually studies the limit of almost all psychology. And it's only when you go to graduate school that you can do some real research. In graduate school, after deciding on a specific major and an academic advisor and applying, you have to pass an interview and written evaluation of your research plans. Your tuition fees can be significantly reduced by scholarship system provided to competitive graduate schools by various foundations, or if you work for a professor in charge of government-funded research projects for places like BK. And a lot of graduate students make things easier for themselves by taking on work as department assistants. Now I'm in charge of 2 labs, and Professor Sung has 1 counseling psychology lab, which you've been very interested in. So you got this. And it's still not an official lab, but there's also Professor Beek's clinical psychology major. Thump. Professor Beek won't accept any students. Why the fuck you tell me about it then? Exclamation mark, question mark. You're going to apply for Professor Song's lab, right? Since she practically sees you as a younger sister. You shouldn't have any trouble getting in. ... Professor Chan? But you just made me want to get in Professor B class. What? What? I haven't said anything yet. But we read them thoughts, girl. We read them thoughts, and we know you like, Professor B, can I be in your class? Why are you looking sexy? He over there looking sexy. When you're acting as long as you want to know about that person, expressing yourself will come later. The desire to know. The starting point for counseling is not so much wanting to solve the person's problem as it is curiosity about them. Why don't you start meeting some real people now? It will certainly help you find the answer that you're looking for. Should I, Professor Chan? Will this really be meaningful? People are like travelers who see the shadows within themselves and leave for a brighter place. We hope that we will be able to become someone else's sunshine at the end of that journey. I love you too. From the Mind of a Counselor by Stanley Skin and Sangwon Chin. What are you talking about, Sagona? Not him. Now, Professor Song. Let's listen to what she has to say. But Professor Song. Anyway, I oppose it. Think about it again, Signona. I mean, he been giving out them great tips, so, and I think we is falling in love with him, so, it might be that. That little thing, I think. That little thing? No? Can I, a little thing? Drop that down in the comments, please. No? Maybe? You think about it? Okay. Of course, it may help Professor Beak to get a student, too. Why on earth does Professor Song hate Professor Beak so much? Well, he isn't always the most likable guy. Still, Professor Song dislikes him so much that it's bizarre. The 2 of them weren't always like that. They used to be the greatest team in our lab. Till she fell in love and he broke her heart by not acting like he got feelings. Ooh, she came up, he get down, he got dirty, he got rough. 10 years earlier. Young Gang University Psychology Department Graduate School. Whew. Damn, Nambog Slam. Question mark, exclamation mark. What's wrong? Why does he talk like such a jerk? Can't he just be nice for once? You only been with him for a couple of days. Besides, what he says isn't really wrong. Sion, you're way too forgiving towards him. Why does he always talk like that? He just talks like a machine. Ugh. Really? That's the problem? Do I sound like a robot now? Will you leave a comment now? Or not? Dislike this, please? No, not worth it. You don't want me to come for your skull. I understand. Y'all like, really? Yeah. Have you thought about what I told you ages ago? Number, the essays that you're writing in the field of clinical cognitive psychology are really outstanding. But now, maybe it's time for you to try some actual counseling. You told me several times that theory and practice are equally important to a great clinical psychologist, but I'm just not ready yet. Of course, it's also necessary to become a great clinical psychologist, but don't forget the reason why you're studying psychology. At least don't let yourself get stuck in theories. Right now, finding work with real people will be the biggest help to you. Nate, before our next meeting, I want you to at least decide on an observational case, even if it's not official counseling. Hey, Nabong, I told you not to call me by that name. Why not? It sounds so warm. Nothing is more unpleasant than the way an impression of a person is determined by the initial emotional response simulated by the name. Anyway, why did you piss him off again? You mean Jang? All I did was point out the flaws in his latest dissertation. That's not all, is it? Of course, I also added my diagnosis of the situation, that if he doesn't pass, he could be in danger. That's not all, is it? He got angry when I told him that his ideas are always good, but that he doesn't develop them logically. That's not all, is it? I said that especially if his logic is loose, it can make him look even more stupider than having bad ideas. Why do you talk like that? Not everyone is like you. Why would you say something so obvious? Everyone has their individual uniqueness. Forget it. It's a good thing you're not in counseling. But he is. That's the whole problem. Like, she thought he wasn't in the counseling. He was, and then he counseled somebody, most likely her sister. That shit didn't go how she planned it. She wanted to continue to baby the sister. He gave the sister some hardcore hitting facts. The sister probably killed herself. I mean, some people are just not ready for hardcore hitting facts. You just can't be like, hey, here go cake. Bitch, you eat too much cake. Don't eat that cake. Because some people might hear, bitch, you fat. That cake is the reason you fat. You need to go jump off a fucking cliff. Oh no, now that motherfucker done went and jumped off a cliff. And now you like, ooh, Turquoise, look at you. Making fun of motherfuckers committing suicide. You just going to hell. And that's not what I was doing. But look at you. Jumped to a conclusion and just took that shit and ran with it. And now look at you. Feeling sad, wounded and hurt. And don't even know why. And then to go back to him saying, at least don't let yourself get stuck in theories. Right now, finding work with real people will be the biggest help to you. So he thinks about that as he's looking at her back of her head. Whoosh. Why are you studying psychology? I don't know. There probably are a few reasons. What a meaningless answer. Well, there are a lot of people who dive into this field because someone in their family or someone they know has a mental illness. Well, it's like that for me. There's someone I want to look after too. Is it wrong to study psychology simply because you want to know someone? Yes, I'm with him. It's so wrong to study that. You studying for all the wrong reasons. You don't want to improve someone. You want to know someone. And you want to understand that someone. And what if the information that you learn from that? Oh, is that someone you want to know? Who? Is she pretty? Looks like you also know how to say stupid stuff. He wants to know himself. And then it's just showing people. We got a building, we got the school building, young gang, and then we got a shoe, then we got some random people, more random people. They don't got faces. And then, ooh, here we go. Here go our character. Exclamation mark, question mark. You already know. Drop that down in the comments. Let me know. It's a new person, new face. Okay. It was, wait a minute. Where is we in, Y'all like, Squeeze, what the fuck, you don't know where you at? No, okay. So we good. We good. I might have to break this up into two. I'm hopefully not, but if we do, I'm gonna see. Sis, what's up with those clothes? What's wrong with them? Ha ha ha. Look at yourself. You're so pretty, but you never dress yourself up. When are you coming home today? It's always the same for me. You know me. I never work the night shift. You're pretty relaxed. No. Haha, no. I worry because there were a lot of problems with my recent dissurrection. Thankfully, there's this brilliant guy helping me out, though. Who? The white-haired guy from before? See, she peeked him. She was looking at him. Oh, yeah, that's name Boy Barrick. He's a famous genius from my graduate school. Although he's not a very warm person, a genius, so he's smart. I never met anyone like him before. He was kind of cranky and odd. But he's also extraordinary in several ways. ... See, she was already giving him signs she liked him in more than just a friend type of way. He's pretty handsome with his looks and a brain like that. He must be super popular. Ha! He's so grumpy. Don't even mention that. Ha ha ha. Hey, listen. Does that guy do counseling too? I told y'all, sister needs some counseling. What? What about your current counselor? So this one isn't very good either. He just keeps prescribing meds, and it's helped a bit, but still. So you start off with medication, and then if things get better, the amount of conversation increases, and you already switched counselors a few times already. This time you should. That's enough! I just don't like him. What am I supposed to do? Stop acting like you know everything just because you're a psychology student. Oh, Shorty just tweaked the fuck out. Motherfuckers in the background like, Shorty tweaking. All right, sorry. But you have gotten a lot better, A lot of people suffer from borderline personality disorder. So try not to get too impatient, okay? You have me. Don't worry. Huff. Sorry. It's hard for me. I keep getting these bursts of rage. I'm sorry. It's okay. It's okay. You're getting so much better. You're doing great, Saul. Really? Of course. Thank you. You really are the best. No. Everything is wrong with this picture. So much is going wrong. Exclamation mark, question mark. Was Sion's latest essay about borderline personality disorder? ... No. Well, it's like that for me. There's someone I want to look after. No, this is not how you do that. You're going about this all the wrong way, little sis. Little sis, no. Borderline personality disorder. A feature of group A personality disorders is the issue of extreme and unstable emotions. Even among professional psychologists, psychological counselors, borderline personality disorders are considered so complex that counselors who can treat them are said to be able to handle any other type of psychological problems. It's an interesting topic, even from a constructive persuasive. Maybe I'll just take a look. No! Creek. Hi there. Exclamation mark, question mark. I heard a lot about you from my sister. Oh no! My name is Soul Song. Would you mind counseling me? Oh no. I guess he is pretty good looking. No! Is it wrong to study psychology simply because you want to know someone? His eyelashes. Haha, what am I saying? Don't forget how annoying the man behind the handsome face is. Tap, 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 tap. Now I wonder, is Saul really serious? There's no way that Nambug would ever actually give anyone counseling. You seem just as remarkable as I've heard. I met several doctors so far. I love you too! But most of them just repeated the same diagnosis, and I didn't get better. But with you, I feel like it would be different. I don't do counseling. It sounds like you probably stopped the counseling early because they weren't just prescribing medication. More patients don't even know about medication or the early stages of counseling. So they keep changing counselors just because their method of treatment doesn't happen to suit what they want. I really don't think I would do anything differently. Shut up! What do you know about me? You're just like all those other counselors, acting like they know everything when they don't. You're probably just saying all that because you're a quack, huh? How dare you insult me? Damn, shorty. Traces of repeated self-inflicted wounds. going from building someone up as being great straight to calling them a quack. A extreme shift between idealization and devaluation, using the word and thought, feeling uncontrollable rage. This is very typical. It's such a typical case that it would be perfect to try applying some clinical theory. Huff, huff. Drip, drip. Huh? I'm sorry. I can't stop myself when I get angry. I hate the way I am. I probably look like a real nutbag, don't I? Yes. That's why this will be very interesting. No, no, no. No, 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 no. Knock, knock. You still haven't gone home. Why don't we have dinner, or I found someone interesting. Would you mind helping me with counseling? Oh, no. I'm going to have to split it up in 2 parts. Oh, no. As I'm sure you're already aware, counseling is not my main area of expertise. So I would have to get help from my professor during the course of our conversations. I don't mind. Nabug. Call me Mr. B. Now, let me hear about you. As you saw, I have a hard time controlling my emotions. Every time I feel anger, I just can't hold it back, and it's hard to control. And then after I get really depressed and end up regretting it. That kind of thing just keeps repeating itself. The doctors before said that out of the class B personality disorders, I had a borderline personality disorder. When people hear mental illness, they are many classes when they are afraid because they imagine bizarre behaviors and an abnormal appearance, delusions, or fantasies. But that is kind of prejudice, and not all psychological disorders are like that. Hey! In many cases, people are able to maintain their social and daily lives, but they come from counseling because of their personal pains and discomfort, and this applies to many cases of personality disorders. There are 3 types of personality disorders, A, B, and C, and people with B are dramatic and emotional, and have the common characteristics of volatile symptoms or behaviors. And borderline disorder belongs to class B personality disorders. If that's what they told her at her previous counseling section, still I better try a few tests. Okay, be quiet. I'm not. This is an SCT, or a sentence completion test. Would you mind starting with this? It's very simple. You just fill in the blanks with whatever comes to mind first, right? I've already done that a few times. She's already got an attitude. A borderline personality disorder might be a bit much for his first counselor section. And if she's someone who has already received counseling several times before, she may be contaminated by the psychological evaluation methods. I tried a lot of different psychological tests before. MMPI, MBTI, all kinds of rejection examinations. When a patient has already been exposed to a certain psychological evaluation method and knows all about it, we usually refer to this as an evaluation has been contaminated. And since I go to the arts college, things like drawing tests probably won't work either. They say your subconscious emerges when you draw stuff like a tree or a house. So the branches, roots, and tree trunks mean something, right? But since I'm already someone who draws as a professional, exclamation mark, question mark, did you draw the cover of that notebook yourself? Yeah, I printed off a drawing that I did and glued it on. Isn't it good? You're quite the artist. Do you draw a lot of trees? Yeah, I really like trees. So I've probably drawn 100 so far. But out of all those hundreds of drawings of trees, did you put this drawing on your notebook? What? The drawing is very detailed, as expected from an art student. But the roots are shown, and I can hardly see the trunk. Judging from the way the branches are shaped, it looks like you have a strong desire for affection. But when I look at the roots and the trunk, I can see that you have difficulty dealing with reality and feel very weak as a person. The interesting thing about this test is that it makes no difference how well a person can draw or not. It allows us to find out a lot of things, including the reason why you unconsciously choose this concept for this drawing. In most of these cases, the patient has difficulty remaining in relationships. Do you have any close friends? Not at the moment. Although there is someone who I feel close to sometimes. Most of my friendships don't last very long, just as I thought. Why do you think that is? Is it because they're all awful? They're all stupid, selfish, mean bitches. Once again, extreme devaluation. People with borderline personality disorder are extremely afraid of being abandoned by others. This is similar to dependent personality disorder. But in case of the dependent personality disorder, the patient tries to please the other person because they're afraid that they will leave. Whereas people with borderline personality disorders express this fear with rage and unreasonable demands. If someone feels like someone acknowledges or sympathizes with their weak senses of dignity, their fragile ego is powerfully drawn to the person. In order to maintain this relationship, they give the person endless trust, compliments, and praise. But if the person grows tired of this emotional roller coaster and tries to put even a little of distance between them, the patient explodes with rage and bombards them with insults before the person can run away. This also applies to romantic relationships. So many patients have short, frequent relationships. Do you have a boyfriend? Exclamation mark, question mark. Drop that down in the comments. What does this face mean to you? Someone says, do you have a boyfriend? You make this face. What does it mean to you? While normal relationships are experiences, samples of psychological sympathies, not right now. Guys just don't understand me. They're boring and stupid. But you seem like you would be different. I'm tired of talking about this. Tell me about yourself, Mr. Burke. These type of patients are more like psychological parasites. So they frequently change partners like a parasite in search of a new host. Now, Buck, you're a bit different from other people. People tend to live with more emotions than you experience. There are basically two ways to approach someone you don't know. Intuitive, sympathy, and logical, analyst. You're not very good at the one, but you're extremely skilled at the other. So he don't have intuitive, but he got logical. So he can't give you a hug, but he can most definitely break that ass down. So if you would like to know about yourself, why don't you try studying psychology? Since everyone who receives counseling walks in the face of their own shadow. Mr. Burke, could you tell me a bit about yourself? I don't see any need for me to talk about myself in this situation. Okay. Don't want to use the wrong impression, baby girl. Focus. While everything seems to match up with the characteristics of borderline personality disorder, I see one additional feature. Most people don't refer to the counselor as first name. I see a lot of other seductive behavior as well. In addition to a borderline disorder, I see characteristics from this historic personality disorder, which is the same class B of personality disorder. All this information that I couldn't get from books alone, which I'm now obtaining from directly observing a real person. It's like all I've ever dealt with are mathematical equations, and now I have to solve applied problems. So girl came to see you, right? How was it? She made my heart race. See, when he said she made my heart race, she thought that she was looking at her as more than just a friend, as than a patient. Because Shorty is emotionally just disturbed. She like, nigga, I love you. How can you love my sister? You bastard. That's how she looking at him. And it just showed his face. Okay. So we're going to do this last one, this 4, because it's 8. Boom. That's how we're going to do it. She made my heart race. Stare off. Well, then she grabs her heart. It shows the class when she grabs her heart. Listen, although I'm sure you're already aware, exclamation mark, question mark, if my sister tries to get too close to you, watch out. Of course, I know very well about the obsessive characteristics of borderline disorder patients. That's not what I mean. Exclamation mark, question mark. What do you mean then? What do you mean? My sister, I feel kind of bad saying this, but Saul has played the role of a black sheep for a long time in our family. I thought you was going to counseling so you could help. I thought you was becoming a counselor so you could help your sister, not call her, not say she be crying. Not to be dirty. According to Wicktaker's black sheep theory, the basic cause for many psychological and emotional disorders is family environment. Thus, there are a lot of times when family therapy is needed for family counseling. But unlike places in the West, like the United States, this is not easy in Korea. If there's a fundamental problem in the family, we refer to the person with psychological disorders as the black sheep, since they are used as a scapegoat for the problem. The black sheep's problematic behavior is like continuous warning or notification of the problems to the family. But most people fail to recognize this and only blame the black sheep. Okay, my patients are very typical bureaucratic types. So I always put the burden on my sister by comparing her with me. Maybe that's why Suelle seems to have a sense of inferiority towards me. Wow, you ain't shit, little sis. When we were kids, there was this boy who liked me. Of course, I wasn't the popular type or anything. I was very hard-headed and only focused on studying. But he still followed me around everywhere. But since I had only ever focused on studying, I didn't know how to react in a situation like that. Still, I found myself starting to warm up to his affections for me. But one day, isn't he going to wait for me today? Was I too cool to him? Your sister got with him? Oh, snap. He seems like a decent guy. Should I give him a chance? Mama. Her sister got with him. Her sister got with the dude that was chasing up behind her, trying to get that booty. So, and since then, to the point of being bizarre. Any guy around me who ever asks me out or follows me around has almost always ended up dating Sorrel or liking her. It makes me wonder if she's stealing guys away who wants to go out with me because of a sense of infirmary. Thank you. This information from a family member would be very useful. But since I'm not interested in dating you, doesn't that mean I don't need to be careful? Question mark, exclamation mark. She got his ass that. Drop that down in the comments. Showing apart. Why did I even tell him that? It's like I'm bad mouthing my sister. No. I just gave him some advice as a fellow psychologist and her sister. No, you basically said, I like you. Watch out for my sister because anybody I like, she goes for her. That's what you basically just said. Today, why don't we talk about your family? My sister has always been perfect since we were kids. She started talking about her sister rather than her parents. She's been good at everything. She's kind of like a bright, shining star, you know? She's so perfect that someone like me can't even begin to compare with her. And then he think about what the sister just said, how she might have a sense of inferiority toward her. Why don't you talk about your parents? Maybe she's intentionally avoiding it. My dad thinks I'm useless, and my mom is more focused on her own career, period. I didn't really want to talk about those people. The suppression and exclusive control from both parents must have been some significant causes, but then a strong attachment to her sister would probably help her. What about your family? Exclamation mark, question mark. Are you on good terms with your parents? It doesn't seem like it would be. I don't have parents or a family, so there's not really anything to talk about. He be shutting that shit down. Shut it down. Shut it other way down. Don't leave no room for a peep or a squeak. Shut it other way down.
Just shut it on.
She's already receiving psychological treatment. I have to exclude the possibility of typical approaches. Looking off to the side. And she done took his hand. You say that like it's nothing. Aren't you far worse off than I, Mr. Barrick? Take your hand back. I feel like there's a connection between us. I feel like I can understand you. Take your hand back. So a song, even that emotion that you're feeling right now, is a symptom of your disorder. Whoa! He shut that shit down quick. Hey! And we ain't about to leave it with that excellent burn. Like, yeah, shorty, you ain't flirting with me. It's your illness that's flirting with me. I just came out with my title quickly.